guys, I'm Gia. So I'm the founder of the Lynk Therapy and Wellness Center, and also I'm a registered and licensed counselor.
Hello, I'm Shahira. I'm one of the counselors at the Lynk.
Alright.
Okay.
So before we actually begin today's podcast, there are three important things that we want to share with you. Number one, whatever that we share here is based on our personal point of view.
Yep. And number two, we are not representing any mental health practitioners in Malaysia or any counselors. It's all about how we think about it.
Yes.
And number three?
Lastly, like whatever that we share here is to raise awareness for the people of Malaysia.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so for today, our topic is about the power of empathy and connection in therapy. So the first question is, so what does empathy mean in the context of therapy, and how does it differ with sympathy?
Good question.
Okay.
Okay, so empathy means you empathize or try to understand your client's situations, and sympathy, it's when you overdoing that empathy. You want to do more for your clients. So empathy is you have boundaries. Sympathy is when you don't have boundaries. It can go a little bit like too far, sometimes. Yeah, what do you think?
I think, okay, I do agree with you, but to me, sympathy more like you feel bad for that person.
Yeah.
But you couldn't put yourself in their shoes. I mean, like you couldn't really understand how they feel at the moment. Instead, you just feel bad about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Maybe with judgment a bit. Yeah, that's from my point of view lah.
Yeah. Judgment in the sense whereby like
around about the situation, the whole
Right,
situation,
right,
like
right.
how maybe that person handled the situation and all.
yeah.
That's from my understanding, basically.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when we talk about empathy in the sessions, right, it's like these are the basic skills, right?
Exactly.
For talk therapy, and we ensure that like we hold that safe space for our clients. And empathizing, it's like you just like listen to them
Yes.
and try to understand them, even if you never,
Been
went
there,
through
yeah.
been there to that, to their situations.
Mhm.
But in a way, it's like we just understand, we just acknowledge,
True.
right? So
I agree.
sympathy, it's like sometimes you macam want to do more. You
But what do you mean by do more?
macam you want to like overdo it. It's
like
like
helping
you,
that person?
yeah, correct, like a severe complex, I say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand. Great point.
Yeah, but like you said, it's also comes with the judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel like you can do better than that person. Yeah, maybe.
What about like, let's say this is like in a therapy context, right? What about like in friendship context?
Oh, I think, okay, one thing for sure to me, when it comes to friendship or family, it would be tough because we always wanted to do more.
Yeah.
I believe that we do have empathy and sympathy at the same time, because we empathize whatever that they are feeling, but at the same time we feel sympathy that this is happening to someone significant to us.
Yeah.
So that's why, like you were mentioned just now, you wanted to do more, like overdoing it.
Correct.
So instead of we being active listener, like how we usually do during session, we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
In fact, we would give like macam what to do next and all.
Yeah. We would do more. We would give more suggestion and
Betul.
advice to our friends and our family.
Betul.
We will move mountain for them.
Yes.
But we can't really move mountains for
Betul.
our clients, basically.
Yeah, cannot.
Yeah. So.
That's why they come and see us.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So the next question I have
Okay.
for you, why is building trust and rapport between a therapist and a client is so crucial for effective therapy?
Okay. So to me, I think for any mental practitioner that would aware about this,
Yeah.
when we see a stranger, we do not have any connection with that person.
Yeah.
We know nothing about that person, although we do know from their like a bit of their information through our informed consent and all kind
Yeah.
from them.
Yes.
But we do not know their story. So for us to make them feel comfortable being vulnerable during the session, rhyme. We do need that empathy to connect with the client, because we wanted to show to them that although we are stranger, but we can still feel you. We can still be the active listener person.
Right.
How about you? What do you think?
Yeah. So the empathy comes with like trust
Trust, yeah.
and
That's how they build the rapport.
rapport, you know. So then in that way, it's like, okay, because sometimes in session, I'm not speaking for all the therapists.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Sometimes in the sessions, it's like clients will be like, how do you know?
Betul. How do
You
you know?
pernah ke sakit hati?
Yeah. How do you know? Have you been there?
Have you been there? Exactly. So in that way, it's like, you know, I guess it's really important to build. No, sorry, I don't guess. It is very important to build the rapport with the clients, and I think I stress this, you know, from the get-go, the first sessions. You know, I ensure that when I go through the the consent form with my clients, I go through every single little detail with my clients, because that good 5 minutes is me building the rapport with the client.
Betul.
Me letting them know that, like, if you have any questions, you can ask me right now.
Betul.
Because you don't have to at that 5 minutes, right? If you listen to the consent form and you don't want to continue your therapy session, you have every right to say, okay, I don't consent to this session, and I want to leave the session right now.
And I'm done.
And I'm done.
Yeah.
Why? Because within that 5 minutes, they can hear you, they listen to you, they pay attention to you, and they will feel if, you know,
If there's no connection.
correct. Correct. So I always use that the informed consent as a build, like a, how to say, like a,
To build the rapport.
it's like to build a rapport to see if the client can connect with you or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. Even like because it mentioned here, why is it so crucial for effective therapy? Can you imagine like you having like 3-4 sessions with the client, but you cannot connect at all?
Yeah.
Even you as a therapist, you cannot connect with the client.
Yeah.
So where does the session lead you to?
Yeah.
It's going to waste your time and your client's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it's really, really important.
Yeah.
But it takes time though. It takes time.
It does.
For people who have severe issue, it takes quite a longer time lah.
Yeah. It's almost like selecting, like going out on a date with someone. You know what I mean? It's like you see if this relationship works for you.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, we can't take it too hard, because sometimes it's really not about us. Sometimes it's just really there's no connection between you and the client.
That person, yes.
Yeah. And it's our duty to ensure that the client goes to the right person. You know, so that they can have more effective therapy session with the specific like therapist.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have right actually to jump from this counselor to another counselor, as long as to get the rentak with the client, with the therapist. I mean.
Yeah. Do you ever experience like, after like few sessions, like you said, because it takes time to build that rapport, right? I mean, yes, it does. So do you ever like ask your client, like after 4th session, let's say for example, like, why are you here actually?
Yeah, of course. I always do that, because sometimes even the first session we couldn't find what's the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even sometimes, even after first session, the client itself couldn't find what actually he or she wants during the session.
Yeah.
Why they coming and seeing us? Yeah, I do ask that question a lot.
Do you set goals like on your first session?
To be honest, no. To be honest, my technique more like during the first session, it's more about like listening to their story.
Yeah.
On the second session, then I will ask about their goal.
I see.
But I would like ask again, like reconfirm for their goal on the 4th or 6th session. Because trust me, they will change their goal.
Because it's not
happens.
linear.
Yeah,
not
betul.
linear. Yeah. It's like, it's almost like, oh yeah, I speak about that and I don't feel that way anymore.
Betul.
And then kita move on to the next
True.
situations.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
You talk about goal on the first session?
Yeah, I do talk about goals on the first session, and then I check in like after the fourth and then 8th sessions with them.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to do it on the first session because it's almost like some of them they know what they want. Some of them they don't know, but at least it's like, okay, just have like a thought process of like what would be the direction, at least macam like okay, I want to unpack this. What would you like to unpack? Maybe name one thing first. I would like to unpack about my family. Okay,
true.
that's good. Lepas family tu we move on lah kan. Relationship lah,
To the real one.
correct.
Okay, out of topic, I think, out of the empathy topic.
Yeah.
So which one do you prefer? Very brutally honest client or the one yang macam shy cat client? You know what I mean? Shy cat, they don't know what they want actually.
Yeah, I think both is actually quite challenging.
Yeah, true. Sometimes even the brutally honest client pun they think like this is the right thing.
Yes.
I mean, this is the right
Yes.
goal.
Yeah.
But actually,
Yeah.
it's more than that, deeper than that.
Correct. It's almost like I have a lot more knowledge than you.
Yeah.
How would you know,
True.
right? So it's like obviously we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
So if they're expecting us to have all the facts and all the science and everything ready for them, then I guess it's going to be difficult to build that therapeutic like relationship with
Yeah,
them.
true. Effective one.
Correct. I guess that is our skill to be
Yeah.
able to like manage the situation as well,
True.
kan? And then like macam make it, let them know that like, okay, you do know more. I will let you know in the next session once I found out like what are the
Sometimes they just
info
ask
is.
us to make us look, not to make us look like stupid or what, but
Yeah.
they just wanted to see if we know.
if we know.
Yeah, if we have that kind
macam
of
test
knowledge.
lah, want to test
Yeah,
the water.
betul.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the
Yes.
next question.
Okay.
So, Gia, could you
Yes.
provide insights into working with clients who have difficulties in forming connections due to past trauma or
Yeah.
trust issues?
Yeah. I think this might happen to, or may happen to like other practitioners as well. It's not easy to actually again build the connection, right? And especially like when you talk about connection, we want to ensure that it's 100% like ethical and there is no breach of like confidentiality or like transference or like too much of self-disclosure that may not be necessary for the sessions, because sometimes like we as a therapist might be like, oh yeah, I went through that, let me tell you about my story.
Yes.
And then we
yes,
connect, we think that the other person might be might follow through what you
what
did
you were
before.
telling them.
So yeah, I guess like especially when you talk about past trauma,
Yeah.
we have to be patient
True.
in the session.
Betul.
Kita tak boleh rush. Kalau you nak quick fix tu memang tak. So it's like memang tak lah kan.
Yalah.
So in a way kita kena jadi patient,
Kena sabar.
kena sabar habis, and then we in a way we have to just like do whatever methods that we can and techniques that we can use in the session to let the client know that it's okay to take time and we're always going to be here for them.
Yeah, although it takes like quite banyak session for them to go through with us.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm really proud with this kind of clients, although they have a difficulty to open up with us
Yeah.
during the first, second session,
Yeah.
but they're still coming for the third, fourth session, because I think the wall macam starting to turun sikit.
Yes,
It
yeah.
just they still need things to like assure themselves that we are worth it
Yeah.
for their story.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe also maybe because they have had like bad experience with like therapy session previously.
Yeah.
That's why it makes it more harder for them
Yeah.
to open up,
Yeah.
to be vulnerable about their past trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because of these people also sometimes they have issues with quite ramai sangat yang make judgment on themselves, yang make them feel like macam, you know what, this fella will feel the same way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Kan.
Sometimes I wish that the clients would be sometimes I wish they know that it's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
it is okay.
yeah, that we're really going to be there for them, and we are not like their friends and family. I guess that's why we talk about the apa ni, the boundaries
Betul.
between the sympathy and the empathy,
The
right?
empathy just
Because we have to be professional, and we have to empathize with you.
Betul.
And so like you don't have to worry about whether we can take it ke kita tak boleh take it ke, kita memang trend.
Yeah, we are trained for that.
Yeah, you were trained for it. So like you said, the walls, it's like we just have to pass them the hammer.
Betul.
Tu je.
They have to.
Lepas tu dia just have to buat lah sendiri punya rumah ke.
Which part they want to open up first.
Yes.
They have a right.
Yeah.
Agree for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Alright. So last question. Okay. Can you share a success story from your experience that highlights the transformative power of empathy and connection in therapy?
Okay.
Wow.
So deep.
I'm sure you know.
Have story for this.
You
Okay.
experience
I do have experienced this with my former clients, obviously. I'm gonna share one story je lah.
Okay.
Anonymous.
Two pun boleh ke?
Huh? A two can. I think only
Two
one
is better than
two
one.
is better than one. Okay, so for this client, as we know, when it comes to male client, it's so tough for us to make them to feel it is okay for you to feel that emotion. Okay, that is so tough because they have been brainwashed and trained since childhood yang you have to be tough up macam tu. Kau kena kuat lah, kenapa kau nak nangis, kau lelaki lah, things like that. For Malays, I'm not sure yours, but for Malays selalu macam tu. Okay, I've seen that a lot. So for my client is a male Malay. He had these issues with his wife who cheated on him during the marriage with like 4 guys. So it has, I mean, the issue happened like 8 years ago, but up until today still trauma because of that.
Right.
But they're still married.
Right.
Because of the kids. Okay. So during the session, I did empty chair technique, where I wanted him to, let go of the negative emotion that he feels toward the wife, because he didn't had the chance to tell the wife how he feels about that 8 years punya incident.
Right. Wow, that's long.
That's long.
And he has been keeping it to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel so bad for him lah kan. So that during that moment, he did the empty chair very, very well. However, we have to stop halfway because he got panic attack. So this is where my empathy datang lah. I mean, like during the whole situation empathy, but this is more like macam lagi the level of my empathy lagi tinggi, because me as a person yang also sometimes having anxiety, sometimes I also do experience panic attack.
Yes.
So I do feel like macam I know how this person, my client, feel about the attack, because I mean, he doesn't know that that's the panic attack. So because of my empathy, I asked him to straight away duduk on the floor. And thank God, and that time the room was penuh dengan cermin. I mean, like we can see the window lah kan kat luar, and it's raining somehow. So thank God it's raining. And so I buka the tingkap and I asked him to really focus on the sound of the rain. We do grounding technique, but before we do the grounding technique, I really need to help him to calm down first.
Right.
So I give him a drink first, and I even ask him to keluar, we jalan first, because he needs that. So that's what I did lah. That's where I feel like macam the transformative power of my empathy makes him better. Yeah, he told me he feel better. He feels better lah. During that session.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you lah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
thank God with the knowledge that we have also.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to that makes me feel like, that must have been like so much of therapeutic like connection with your clients, you know, in
Yeah.
order for him to trust you in that journey as well, knowing that like,
Yeah.
oh no, my therapist is not going to judge me. My therapist is, oh my god, I'm having a panic attack in the middle of like a technique,
During the technique,
you know,
yeah.
and it's like he doesn't care pun pasal technique tu, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a genuine reaction, and you were able to like hold that space for him from like, you know, beginning to the ending.
True.
So
But
that's really
to me, whenever that I have this kind of experience or incident during the session, I will drag I punya therapy session. Instead of 1 hour, I'll drag maybe 1 hour 15 minutes, because I need to make sure that that person, my client, really okay.
right.
Because I don't know what's going to happen once he step out from our center.
Yeah.
Although it's not my responsibility after that,
Yeah.
but it's still, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's empathy, huh?
There's empathy,
Yeah, not sympathy, huh?
Not sympathy.
Okay, it's also a little bit of like customer service juga
Betul lah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good. Was that the last question?
Yeah, that was the last question.
Okay.
Alright.
So I think.
Okay, so before we actually end the entire podcast, you know, we usually will end with like a positive notes. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience and our listeners for our
About
podcast?
Empathy?
Yeah. Empathy.
Okay. To me, although you are not a mental health practitioner, empathy can practice to anyone. It doesn't mean that you have to have a certificate from psychology or whatsoever. You can have empathy to anyone, to everyone, even to yourself. It's really important. So just try to differentiate between empathy and sympathy. You have both, lagi better.
Yeah.
What about you?
Amazing. Good one. Yeah. Same thing as what Shahira is saying. You don't need to know everything about empathy and sympathy. All you need to do is just be there,
Yeah.
and maybe from there you will learn what empathy is.
Betul?
So yeah,
That's all.
that's it for today. Thank you for watching and listening to us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe
And
and
like.
like our channel.
Okay.